first started with the band, a group of us met at a church actually, and we started playing together at church, of course, and then decided to go outside of the church and play at restaurants and other venues around the city. It started with just 3 of us, and we kind of added as we went along, and now here 10 years later, we're 5 strong.
I started the Fuzion Project about 3 years ago. Me and Dedrick was playing at the same church, and he invited me along. I think the other drummer, he had a prior engagement, was touring with somebody, and there was just open opportunity for me, and it's been home ever since.
I was the classmate of the keyboard player, Dedrick Womble. Started playing the guitar back in college, and then when I moved to Georgia, continued to play, started playing with the church, and so we were like, you know, we'd like to play some outside venues, play some more jazz, play some more groovy stuff, and that's how we started.
I started with the band about 4 years ago, and I was playing out somewhere, and I heard the guys playing. We introduced ourselves to one another, and man, I mean, really great group of guys, and we just all became friends. And they invited me to be the bass player of the band, and man, I jumped for the opportunity.
Well, I started with the band, it's been about 10 years ago. I met these dynamic guys playing at a church. Well, they were playing for the church actually. I was an attendant at the church. And I heard these musicians playing, and they just touched me on a spiritual level. And after the service that day, I went over and introduced myself to the keyboard player, and we built a great bond at that point. And they mentioned that they had a band that were working on some outside venues. At the same time, I was getting called to play for some outside venues. And we just happened to come together, and we clicked really well on their gig and on my gig. And from there, I just started sitting in with them, and we progressed. And here we are, 10 years later.
Who would you say is your inspiration?
My inspiration would be Herbie Hancock, George Duke. My most recent favorite is Robert Glasper, and probably my all-time great would be, gosh, Nat King Cole, believe it or not. Phenomenal player.
Honestly, my inspiration is the underdog. Because I call myself an underdog, you know, also. The guys who work hard, who don't look at the fame and the money, who try to be the best and strive to be the best that they can be every day. That's who I look up to.
My inspiration, God, so many, but Jimi Hendrix, Slash from Guns N' Roses, we got Norman Brown on the jazz side, George Benson, Eric Krasno from Soul Live.
Wow, I'm inspired by so many different basses. Actually, believe it or not, my favorite bassist is Fred Hammond, the gospel vocalist. But a lot of my flavor, a lot of my beginnings come from gospel. So I would say it's Fred Hammond, Maurice Fitzgerald, Reggie Parker. And on the jazz side, I love Adam Nitti and Marcus Miller.
My inspiration in music, I have several different people when it comes to the saxophone. There's Cannonball LE, saxophone player, Coltrane, and they're the old school musicians. And then there's my guy, Grover Washington. But the ultimate man that I kind of try to mimic and try to kind of take a couple of his little glimpses and technique is Kirk Whalum. Kirk Whalum is by far the boss man right now.
The Fuzion Project apart from other bands?
I would say the creativity, their, believe it or not, their looseness. They're loose. They're serious musicians, but they don't take themselves seriously. You know, they're not uptight. So it comes out in the music, comes out loose, comes out funky, comes out fresh. And I love it.
Well, what I love about Fuzion Project is that when we go out, I mean, we all enjoy what we do. And it comes across in our playing. And I think the energy from that, I believe the people, they feel it, they see it. So we all just go to have a good time. And as a result, you know, we make sure we don't leave the place without, you know, everybody, you know, enjoying themselves. So mission accomplished if that happens.
What sets us apart has got to be the experience that you feel and see when we're playing live before you. The guys bring so much energy, so much passion to the stage. It's infectious.
The camaraderie. There's a great chemistry among the fellas in the band. It's genuine. It's not fake, and you rarely get that. You know, some people simply they show up and they play their music and they go their separate ways. You know, these guys can get together. We can still have a good time away from just the music scene. Honest, hardworking guys, professionals. You know, and those are the kind of things that most bands die to have, you know, and that's one of the great things I like about this band. I think that sets them apart.
We're awesome, of course. We have a chemistry of family, and when you have family pursuing the love that they have, it's like unstoppable. It's almost like the musician form of Power Rangers.
That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. on who